I let my flatmate borrow 20 pounds 8 months ago. It is not about the 20 pounds anymore. I want to start by saying I know how this sounds. I know 20 pounds is not significant, and I know that reasonable adults do not let 20 pounds become a thing. And I agree with all of that in theory. In practice, I have thought about those 20 pounds approximately once a week for 8 months, and it has never once actually been about the money. Her name is Rach. We moved in together because we had mutual friends and compatible schedules, and she seemed easy to live with during the 2 coffees we had before signing the lease, which is not very much information, but is roughly how everyone makes this decision. It has worked out mostly fine. Rach is not a nightmare flatmate. She does not leave dishes in the sink, or play music too loud, or have people over at midnight on Tuesdays. She is clean and quiet and perfectly pleasant, and we get along in the comfortable, low-contact way of 2 people who have slightly different social rhythms and have made peace with that. The 20 pounds happened in October. She asked to borrow it, cash, she needed it for something, and would pay me back by the weekend. I said yes, because of course I said yes. It was 20 pounds, she said by the weekend. She did not pay it back by the weekend. The following Monday, I assumed she had just forgotten. The following week, I assumed the same. By the end of October, I was in the specific uncomfortable zone where enough time had passed that bringing it up felt disproportionate to the amount, but not enough time had passed to have genuinely let it go. So I did not bring it up, and I did not let it go, and I have been living in that middle space ever since. Here is what I know about myself. I am not good at asking for things back. I will wait past the point of sense and then quietly resent the waiting while doing nothing about it. This is a personal failing I am aware of and have not corrected. Here's what I have learned about Rach over 8 months. She does not volunteer things. She did not mention the 20 pounds after the weekend. She has not mentioned it once, which means she either genuinely forgot, which is possible, or she remembers and has decided that since I have not asked, she does not need to offer, which is also possible and is the version that lives in my head every time we stand in the kitchen making separate dinners without speaking much. The 20 pounds is not the point. The point is, I do not know which version is true, and I have not asked because asking feels like a confrontation over 20 pounds, which sounds absurd, and also like an accusation about her character, which feels disproportionate. So instead, I have let it become a small, persistent thing that has quietly reframed how I see her without either of us having a single honest conversation. I have started noticing other things in the way you notice things once one thing has made you pay attention. The way she says she will replace the milk and then does not for 3 days. The way she agreed to cover the internet bill 1 month and I had to remind her twice. Small things, possibly unrelated, possibly a pattern. Impossible to know without a conversation I am apparently unwilling to have. My friend told me last week to just bring it up casually, just mention it. Say, hey, you never did pay me back that 20. Easy. She made it sound like nothing. It is not nothing after 8 months. 8 months of something being unspoken does something to its weight. You cannot mention it casually anymore. It has layers now. I am moving out when the lease ends in April, not because of 20 pounds, but because living with someone you have started to watch carefully is a particular kind of tiredness, and I am ready to not be tired in my own home. I am not going to bring up the 20 pounds. I think I have made peace with that. What I am going to do starting now is stop letting small things accumulate in silence until they become about something bigger than they need to be. That is the lesson.